Good morning, students. Welcome to this class, today's class. In previous class, we discussed the working of bootstrap air cooling system used in aircrafts. But also we solved some problems in simple air cooling system and simple air evaporative cooling system. In bootstrap refrigeration system, as we know that we discussed in the earlier class, we used 2 heat exchangers, 2 compressors, and 2 turbines. In this bootstrap refrigeration system used for passenger aircrafts, and also that is the high-speed aircrafts. And simple air cooling system and simple air evaporative cooling system used in high-speed aircrafts. This bootstrap refrigeration system, as earlier class, I discussed working of the bootstrap refrigeration system. And also we discussed the TS diagram for the bootstrap system. In today's class, we are going to solve some problems on bootstrap air cooling system. And then we go for another cooling system, that is bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. So let us go to the problem. This is the problem, worked example. In bootstrap system, the problem is very lengthy. It is having some data related to bootstrap system. This is the TS chart for bootstrap system. Let us go for the problem. First of all, I will read the problem and then I will write the data based on the given problem. Clear? This is a bootstrap air cooling system. The bootstrap cooling system of 10-ton capacity is used in aeroplane. The capacity of the bootstrap system is 10 ton of refrigeration. This is the refrigeration effect or cooling load in the cabin. The ambient air conditions are given as 20 degrees centigrade is the temperature, 0.85 bars is the pressure. From that, the pressure of air is increased from 0.85 bar to 1 bar due to ramming action of air. The pressure of air discharged from the main compressor is 3 bar. This is the main compressor pressure and TS diagram. After compression in the main compressor, the pressure is 3 bar. The discharge pressure of air from the auxiliary compressor. This auxiliary compressor means secondary compressor, which is used in the bootstrap system. In that, the pressure is raised from 3 bar to 4 bar. From this pressure to this pressure is rising the pressure of air in the auxiliary or secondary compressor. The isentropic efficiency of each of the compressor is 80%. That is secondary compressor and primary compressor or main compressor efficiency is given as 80% each. While that of the turbine is 85%. This turbine efficiency is given as 85%. This is the expansion process in the turbine. 627 or 627 dash is the actual process. And 50% of the enthalpy of air discharged from the main compressor. This is the main compressor. This is the enthalpy contained in the air at 0.3 dash. At this point, the 50% of enthalpy is discharged from the main compressor is removed in the first heat exchanger. From this, the heat exchange in this heat exchanger, the heat is removing 50% in the first heat exchanger from 3 dash to 4. And 30% percentage of enthalpy of air discharged from the auxiliary compressor. This is the auxiliary compressor. At which the enthalpy at 5 dash, out of this 5 dash enthalpy, that is the enthalpy at 5 dash, will be reduced or decreasing, reducing the 30% of enthalpy at 0.4 during the cooling process in the second heat exchanger. It is removed in the second heat exchanger using ram air. Ram air is the cooling medium in both heat exchangers. Assuming the ramming actions is to be isentropic. This is the ramming action 1 to 2. In the diffuser, it is placed in front of aircraft. This is isentropic process is given. The required cabin pressure is 0.9 bar. The cabin is to be maintained at 0.9 bar, up to which the expansion process takes place, expansion of air. After expansion, the air is sent to the cabin. And in the cabin, the air is absorbing the heat, by absorbing the heat from the cabin, the air temperature again rises from 7 dash to 8 at cabin pressure. That is 0.9 bar. And temperature of air leaving the cabin not more than 20 degrees centigrade. That is at 0.8, temperature is 20 degrees centigrade is the limiting temperature of the cabin. Find the power required to be operate the system, how much power is required to operate the system, and COP of the system. Clear, students? These are the two parameters which are going to find in this problem. The data is given related to the bootstrap system. Draw the temperature entropy diagram of the system. Take gamma as 1.4 and Cp equal to 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin is the data related to the air properties. Clear, students? Let us look the TS diagram. This is the ambient condition at 0.1, having the pressure 0.85 bar, and temperature is also given 20 degrees centigrade, 293 kelvins. From that, the air is compressing in the diffuser. This is the ramming action up to 0.1 bar. Sorry, 1 bar, 0.85 to 1 bar. From there, the air is compressed from 2 to 3 is isentropic compression in the main compressor. 2 to 3 dash is the actual compression in the main compressor. The air condition after compression process is at 3 dash. From the 3 dash, it is cooling in the first heat exchanger at constant pressure. This is the constant pressure line. So this cooling process at constant pressure line up to 4. This is the state point 4 after heat exchanger. Then the air is entering into the auxiliary compressor, in which 4 to 5 is the isentropic compression and 4 to 5 dash is the actual compression in the secondary compressor or auxiliary compressor. Okay, students, 4 to 5 dash is the compression, actual compression process in the auxiliary compressor. And the 5 dash is the actual air condition after auxiliary compressor. Then from that, the air is cooled in the second heat exchanger, and this second heat exchanger, there is 30% of enthalpy is discharged or removed from the air. Then the final condition of air is 6 in the second heat exchanger. This both the heat exchangers, the cooling medium is ram air, that is condition of 2. That is ram air at condition 2 is used to cool the 3 dash air and 5 dash air. Yes, students. From there, from the sixth state of the air is expanded or sent to the turbine, cooling turbine, where it is expanded isentropically. That is 6 to 7 is isentropic expansion. Due to its irreversibility, the actual process is to be taken 6 to 7 dash. From the 7 dash to 8 is cabin process. That process occurs in the cabin at 0.9 bar. Okay, this is the TS diagram, and related data is Q is the capacity of the refrigeration system is given as 10 tons of refrigeration. And ambient condition T1 and P1 is given as 0.85 bar and 293 kelvins. Then from that pressure, it is compressed in the diffuser as a ramming action to 1 bar. P2 is 1 bar. Then pressure after main compressor is 3 bar is given. That is P3 or P3 dash and P4. These three are same constant pressure 3 bar. And P5, P5 dash or P6. These 3 points, the pressure is 4 bar after auxiliary compressor. The efficiency of compressor is 80%, that is 0.8, and efficiency of turbine 85%, 0.85. Then pressure of cabin P7 or P7 dash or P8, 3 are same. These at 0.9 bar. Cabin is to be maintained at 0.9 bar. And T8 temperature of cabin is to be maintained at 293 kelvins. Is given the date. And gamma and Cp value is also given in the last of the problem. Cp value is 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin is given in the problem. Using this data, we have to find the temperature at each point of the cycle. This is the first, you have to give the first preference to find the temperature of each temperature at each point of the cycle. Then only we can find the power and COP. Clear, students? Let us start from the 2 point How to find the temperature 2? We have to apply that adiabatic rule, that is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma, isn't it? T2, we don't know the temperature after ramming action. Then find the T2 at that place. We know that the isentropic ramming process, what to T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. P2 is the 1 bar, P1 is the ambient condition pressure, 0.85 bar. From this, we will get 1.047 after calculating this value. This is the ratio, temperature ratio across the diffuser or during the ramming action. T2 can be found from this equation, T1 into 1.047 for 1.047. That is the T1 is given in the problem. It is ambient temperature 293 kelvins. From this we will get the 306.8 Kelvin as a temperature at state point 2. Then now isentropic process for 2 to 3. Then apply the same formula during the process 2 to 3 because it is an isentropic process. T3 by T2 equal to P3 by P2 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Like that, we have to apply that formula. By applying that formula, P3 value is 3 bar after main compressor, pressure is 3 bar, and P2 is the 1 bar after ramming action, gamma value 1.4. So upon substitution of all the values, we will get 1.37 is the value. It is the ratio between temperature across the compressor. Then from this equation, we can find the temperature after main compressor, T3 equal to T2 into 1.37. T2 value is calculated in the earlier article, 306.8 kelvins. Then into 1.37, then we will get 420.3 kelvins. This is the temperature at 0.3. This is in centigrades. We know that the efficiency of compressor is given as both the compressors eta C1 and eta C2. This is the main compressor C1, second auxiliary compressor 2, C2, compressor 2. Both efficiency, that is both compressor efficiencies are 80% only. By applying the efficiency, that is the efficiency equal to, we know that the formula at isentropic temperature rise divided by actual temperature rise. That is T3 minus T2 divided by T3 dash minus T2 is the efficiency of main compressor. So T3 minus T2 by T3 dash minus T2, this is the isentropic increase in temperature by actual increase in temperature. So upon substitution of all the values, only the T3 dash is the unknown parameter in this. We can find this equation from this equation T3 dash. So T3 dash is 448.7 kelvins. Upon substitution of all the values, we will get the T3 dash, that is temperature of air after actual compression process in the main compressor, 448.7 kelvins. It is in centigrades. From this, in the heat exchanger, after heat exchanger, we can find the temperature. To find the temperature of the heat exchanger, the given data is 50% of enthalpy of air discharged from the main compressor is removed in the first heat exchanger. That means the enthalpy at point 3 dash. Enthalpy means it is the Cp into temperature. Cp into temperature is the enthalpy. I will write the formula here. Enthalpy at point 3 dash, H3 dash is equal to specific heat of air into temperature, small t. Yeah, we have to use the small t3 dash. Small t3 dash means the temperature after main compressor in degrees centigrade. We know that Cp value is 1 and T3 dash is in degrees centigrade is 175.7. So into 175.7. This is the enthalpy at 3 dash. Out of this 175.7 into 1 enthalpy, 50% is removing in the first heat exchanger. Therefore, remaining enthalpy at 4, that is the H4 enthalpy after heat exchanger is remaining is 50%. 50% is removing, remaining 50% is containing the air after heat exchange. Therefore, 0.5 into 175.7 is the enthalpy at 0.4. Clear? This is the enthalpy at 0.4. Enthalpy at 0.4 is also equal to specific heat of air into temperature at 0.4, T4. Therefore, by equating these two, Cp value cancel. This is the 1 Cp, correct Cp value was 1. T4 is equal to 0.5 into 175.7. Okay? T4 is equal to 0.5 into 175.7. It is in degree centigrade, it's 87.85 degrees centigrade. If you write in kelvins, it will get 360.85 kelvins. That's why we are converting here centigrades, because enthalpy should be in degree centigrade. Enthalpy should be right. The equation temperature must be in centigrade. That is a specific heat into temperature in degree centigrade. Then we will get the enthalpy. Clear, students? This is the given data. That is the 50% of enthalpy is removing during the process 3 to 4. Therefore, T4 is equal to 0.5 into 175.7. We will get the temperature at 0.4. Clear? This is the T4 is the temperature of air leaving the first heat exchanger. After getting the T4, this is the point temperature at 0.4, then it is compressed to the 5 isentropic compressor in the auxiliary compressor. During this process, again, we can use the formula T5 by T4 equal to P5 by P4 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Similar formula for isentropic process. Here, P5 is the 4 bar. That is after auxiliary compressor, the pressure is 4 bar. Before auxiliary compressor is pressure is 3. 4 by 3 whole power 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4. Upon calculation, we will get 1.085 is the ratio of temperature across the auxiliary compressor. Therefore, T5 equal to T4 into 1.085. T4 value 360.85 calculated earlier slide. This is 360.85. We will get the 391.5 kelvins is the temperature isentropic temperature after compression, after isentropic compression in the auxiliary compressor. If it is represented in degree centigrade, 118.5 degrees centigrade. Simply, this can be converted into centigrade by how to convert the Kelvin into centigrade. The value in kelvins minus 273, then we will get the centigrade. Then by applying the formula, that is the compressor, like auxiliary compressor efficiency formula. For auxiliary compressor efficiency, this is the auxiliary compression process. Isentropic temperature rise divided by actual temperature rise. That is T5 minus T4 divided by T5 dash minus T4 is equal to compressor efficiency. T5 minus T4 by T5 dash minus T4 is the formula for isentropic efficiency of auxiliary compressor. So in this equation, only unknown parameter is T5 dash. T5 dash is the unknown parameter. Then find the T5 dash. It will get 399.16 kelvins or 126.16 degrees centigrade. Dear students, again, second condition given after auxiliary compressor in the second heat exchanger, 30% of enthalpy is removing. How much enthalpy contained in the air after compression in the auxiliary compressor? That is T5 dash, T5 dash, how much T5 dash enthalpy at T5 dash? Cp into 126.16. In Cp value is 1, therefore 126.16 enthalpy will be reduced, 30% is removing, the remaining is 70%. Therefore, 0.7 into 126.16 is the enthalpy at 0.6. Clear? So this can be equal to temperature into enthalpy at 0.6. Therefore, we will get in previous case. In this case, similar to that case, we can find the temperature at 0.6 as 88.3 centigrade or 361.3 kelvins. Here I will write again the equation. Enthalpy at 5 dash, H5 dash is equal to how much enthalpy contained after compression? It is Cp value, Cp into normal temperature at 5 dash. This is the enthalpy at 5 dash. But what is the enthalpy at 6 after second heat exchanger? In this, only 30% is removing. Remaining 70% of enthalpy is contained in the air after heat exchanger. Therefore, 0.7 into Cp into T5 dash. Clear? This is the enthalpy content in the air after heat exchanger. 70% is there, 30% is removed. Clear, students? From this, temperature T6, Cp into T6 on the left hand side is equal to 0.7 into Cp into T5 dash. In these temperatures must be in degree centigrade. While we are substituting in enthalpy equation, the temperature must be in degree centigrade. Therefore, Cp is cancelled on both sides. Therefore, T6 is equal to temperature in degree centigrade after second heat exchanger 0.7 into T5 dash. T5 dash is already calculated earlier. This is 126.16 degrees centigrade. Therefore, 0.7 into 126.16 degrees centigrade, then we will get 88.3 degrees centigrade. This is the temperature in degree centigrade at 6. That is the after heat exchanger, second heat exchanger. If it is converted into the kelvins, then we can write capital T. Capital T is the absolute temperature that is equal to 88.3 plus 273. Then we will get this 361.3 kelvins. This is the temperature of air after second heat exchanger. Clear, students? Then for the isentropic process 6-7, after getting the temperature of the second heat exchanger, after getting the temperature after second heat exchanger T6, then again apply the adiabatic rule to find the temperature as 7 and 7 dash. This is T7 by T6 is equal to P7 by P6 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. P7 is the cabin pressure 0.9 divided by P6 is the auxiliary compressor pressure 4 bar whole power 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4. After getting the ratio across the turbine, T7 by T6 equal to 0.653, T7 is equal to T6 into 0.653. T6 value is 361.3 kelvins into 0.653. Then we will get the temperature after isentropic expansion is 236 kelvins. Otherwise, minus 37 degrees centigrade. It will be reduced to below 0 degrees centigrade. The air temperature is below 0 degrees centigrade after expansion. After getting the T7 by applying the efficiency of turbine, because if a turbine having the irreversibility, due to this irreversibility, the efficiency of turbine is only 85%. Turbine efficiency, how to write the turbine efficiency? This is the actual process. This is isentropic expansion process. In case of turbine, it is a power producing unit. The actual temperature drop divided by isentropic temperature drop. That means T6 minus T7 T7 dash divided by T6 minus T7 is the efficiency of turbine. Clear, students? I'm writing here T6 minus T7 dash by T6 minus T7. In this equation, only the unknown parameter is T7 dash because efficiency of the turbine is given. T6 already calculated earlier and T7 236 given in the T7 is 236 is calculated earlier. This is the T7 236 kelvins or minus 37 degrees centigrade. So upon substitution of all the parameters, we will get the temperature of air after actual expansion in the cooling turbine. The T7 is 254.8 kelvins or minus 18.2 degrees centigrade. This is the temperature of air at which the air is passing through the cabin. Clear? Before cabin, in front of the cabin, the temperature of air is minus 18.2 degrees centigrade. This temperature is called DART, D-A-R-T, dry air rate of temperature of turbine. So after getting the temperature at each point of the cycle, then we go for calculation, parameter calculation. What are the parameters we are asked in the problem? That is the power required to operate the system and COP of the system. These are the two parameters asked in the problem to find. We know that the amount of air required for cooling of the cabin. Amount of air required for the cabin is, actual equation is mass of air sent to the cabin into specific heat of air and temperature rise across the cabin. That is, T8 is the temperature of the cabin minus T7 dash is the temperature before the cabin. This is the refrigeration effect produced in the cabin, which is given as this parameter is given as equal to Q. That is the refrigeration effect or capacity given. It is in turns ton of refrigeration that it, if we convert into kilojoules per minute, simply multiply by 210. Therefore, MACP into T8 minus T7 dash is equal to Q into 210. This is the actual refrigeration effect produced in the cabin. This is the theoretical one, theoretical refrigeration effect produced in the cabin. By equating these two, then we will get the mass flow rate passing through the cabin. So from this, MA equal to Q into 210 divided by CP into T8 minus T7 dash. Here, the equation is there. So in this, Q is the 10 ton of refrigeration, CP value 1, T8 is 293 kelvins. It is in kelvins, that is the temperature of cabin, minus T7 dash is 254.8 kelvins. Then we'll get the mass of air required to produce 10 ton of refrigeration is 55 kg per minute. Then power required to operate the system is, actually the work required during the compression process is MA, mass of air entering into the compressor, specific heat of air, and the temperature rise across the compressor, main compressor, that is the T3 dash minus T2, because 2 to 3 dash is the actual compression in the main compressor. This is the work required per minute divided by 60, then we will get the power. This is called power. Okay, power equal to MA into CP into T3 dash minus T2 divided by 60. MA is mass of air required is 55 kg per minute into 1 is the specific value, specific heat value. T3 dash value is given as T3 dash we calculated in the earlier slide. This is 448.7 kelvins. 448.7 kelvins minus T2 is 306.8. This is also calculated earlier by using the ambient air temperature divided by 60. Then we will get the 130 kilowatts of power is needed to produce 10 tons of refrigeration in the cabin. Clear? Then COP of the system. We know that the COP of the system is 210 into Q divided by MA into CP into T3 dash minus T2. What is this? Refrigeration effect divided by work supplied or work required. So refrigeration effect is 210 into 10 divided by mass of air supplied is 55 into 1 into temperature difference. This is the temperature difference across the compressor, work required to the compressor, T3 dash minus T2. Then we will get the 0.27 is the COP of the given system, which is used for aircraft as a bootstrap system. Here, these are the two parameters asked. 130 kilowatts power is required and 0.27 is the COP of the system. I hope you understand this problem. This total data is given related to a bootstrap system. Here, students, let us go for the second type of system, bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. A small modification to the bootstrap system, then we will get the bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. As we studied earlier, simple air cooling system and simple air evaporative cooling system, only difference between these two is evaporator. Similarly, here also, bootstrap system and bootstrap air evaporative cooling system, between these two, only the extra device, that is the extra device is evaporator. This is the evaporative vessel or evaporator, which is located between the cooling turbine and second heat exchanger. After cooling in the second heat exchanger, again for the further cooling process, a evaporative vessel will be provided. In this evaporative vessel, evaporative liquid will be stored. By absorbing the heat from the air which is passing through the evaporator, the evaporative liquid will be evaporates and sent to the atmosphere. That evaporative liquid having the low boiling point at higher altitudes. Like that, the evaporative liquid is used in the evaporator. So by evaporating the evaporative liquid, the air is further cooled in the evaporator and then expanded in the cooling turbine. Clear? A bootstrap air cooling evaporative cooling system is shown in figure. It is similar to the bootstrap air cooling system, air cycle cooling system, except that the addition of an evaporator between the second heat exchanger and the cooling turbine. Between these two, evaporative vessel will be provided. The TS diagram for the evaporative cooling system, bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. All the cycles, total cycle is similar to the bootstrap system, except the process 5-6. 5-6. In bootstrap system, from 5 itself, the expansion will be takes place. In bootstrap system, from 5 itself, the expansion takes place like this. But in the after second heat exchanger, the evaporative vessel will be provided. Due to that evaporative vessel, the air is further cooled at constant pressure from 5-6. After further cooling process, then expansion will be takes place in the cooling turbine. Due to this process, evaporative vessel function, the function of evaporative vessel is to reduce the temperature dot. That is after expansion when compared to this. When compared to this, the temperature of air is very less. That is when compared to the bootstrap air cooling system. Clear, students? So main aim of this bootstrap air cooling system, air evaporative cooling system, is that the dot temperature, that is the dry aerated temperature, will be minimized. Clear? The TS diagram for bootstrap air evaporative cooling system is shown in figure. The various processes of this cycle are same as that of the bootstrap system, except the process 5-6. This process is the extra, which represents the cooling in the evaporator using any suitable evaporant. Evaporant means evaporative liquid. Generally used water, alcohol, or water, alcohol will be used as a evaporative liquid or evaporant. Okay. Ammonia is also one of the liquid which is used as a evaporant because it's having the minus 33.33 boiling point temperature, very less boiling point temperature. That's why it is also used as evaporant in the evaporative vessel. Yeah. This line is our ambient pressure, and this line is the cabin pressure. This line is the actual ram pressure, and isentropic ram pressure, the ideal ram pressure is this line. After that, from the actual ram pressure, that is compression process in the main compressor, this is the main compressor pressure. Then this is the first heat exchanging process, then compression in the auxiliary compressor, that is secondary compressor. This is the heat exchanging in the second heat exchanger up to this point. And this is the cooling process in the evaporator or evaporative vessel. This is the expansion in the cooling turbine. This is the actual expansion in the cooling turbine. From this point, the air is entered into the cabin in which the heat is absorbing. By absorbing the heat, the air temperature again rises from 7- to 8. From 8, the air is sent to the atmosphere. Yes, students? From this, if Q tons of refrigeration is the cooling load in the cabin, then the quantity of air required for the refrigeration process. This is the quantity of air. During the process 7- to 8 is the refrigeration effect. MA into Cp into T8 minus T7- is the refrigeration effect, which is equal to the Q. Q is Q tons of refrigeration, or Q into 210 is kilojoules per minute. Therefore, MA equal to Q into 210 divided by Cp into T8 minus T7-. It is in kg per minute. This formula used to calculate the mass of air required to the cabin to produce Q tons of refrigeration. And power required is where we should give the power during the process 2- to 3-. MA into Cp into T3- minus T2- is the power required. MA into Cp into T3- minus T2- is the work required in kilojoules per minute divided by 60, then will be converted into kelvins. Therefore, power is in kelvins. This is a formula to calculate the power required to the refrigeration system in kilowatts. Finally, COP of the refrigerating system is refrigeration effect by work required. 210 into Q by MCP into P3- minus T2- is the work required, or 210 into Q by P into 60. This is the COP formula as earlier I explained for every system. The formulas are same. Since you can note, just identify the note here. Note is, since the temperature of air leaving the cooling turbine in bootstrap evaporative cooling system is lower than the simple bootstrap system. I explained here. Therefore, mass of air, MA, per ton of refrigeration will be less in bootstrap evaporative cooling system. Whenever the temperature is less before the cabin, the mass of air required to the cabin is minimized. Clear? Temperature is less, mass of air required to produce the cooling load is minimized when compared to the bootstrap system. This is about bootstrap evaporative cooling system, air evaporative cooling system. I will close this class at this place. I will solve, that is, we will discuss the problem on this bootstrap air evaporative cooling system in the next class. Okay, students, bye.